people, I'm joined with very lovely ladies today on Gloria's Conversations. Don't forget to tune in on the Facebook page. The handle is appearing on your screen right now. And special thanks to Protea Hotel Kololo. Ladies, welcome. Hi Noella, hi Nida. It's nice to have you guys over.
It's nice to be here.
Awesome. We're talking about something very sensitive today, broken families. Now, ladies, let's be as real as we can be. I just want to find out what goes on when a family falls apart. What exactly goes on? Because it's very easy for married people to want out, and pack their things and leave, but we don't usually know what exactly people are getting themselves into. Briefly tell us.
I think one of the problems that we have in society today is many of us get into an institution that we are not ready for.
The marriage institution?
Yes, and I have to go back to the churches. We are not dealing with divorce and broken homes well because we are not getting into marriage right.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not getting enough counseling.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, by the way, I'm not a therapist.
Yes, yeah.
But I think it is very important that people understand fully what they're getting themselves into. Because once you're into the we and away from the I, the balance begins to fail many times. Then you forget that this is a vow you have made with God. This is not just the two of you. Then you want to deal with something so spiritual in such a mechanical way,
yes,
which is impossible. And when that happens, the home has to break. It has to break because you have built your foundation on a very mechanical way of doing things.
Kano?
Yes, the foundation has to be spiritual. That's why we go to church. And I think it's very important for the churches to take this responsibility very seriously.
Of marriages.
As they're coming in, before they pay that fee, before you get into the whole hullabaloo and the excitement of marriage, do these two people know what they're getting themselves into?
But Noella, back in the day, our ancestors, this Christianity thing and church thing was not there in Africa yet. But our grandmothers stayed married for 100 years. What's up today exactly? People speak in tongues, people are on fire for God, but the person can't keep a marriage for 6 months. I don't get it.
Actually, we can call religion now Christianity, but there has always been religion.
Okay.
There has always been values. Actually, tradition has more values. When a girl or a young man are getting married in a village, if you go down to your traditional preparations,
yes,
I think the traditional preparations are even more intense
than church,
than the Christian preparations. You have aunties and singers telling you all these things. Now, because we have been educated, we have been modernized, we even find some of these practices, we want to call them, backward, we want to call them, yet these are what actually, these are the glues to the home.
This is what builds society.
They are even the same values that are applied when the home is having problems. There's a kiko. They sit down with the boy, the uncles, they talk to the boy, they see what the problem is, they sit down with the girl, they see what the problem is. I even know that there are cultures when a woman is barren in a home, they give her a sister. They agree
to help her carry the children,
to let her birth children, let her even become a wife.
And they're at peace with it.
And they're at peace with it. So actually, the
involvement was encouraged. Now it's like you're involving too much in my life. Did I ask for your opinion?
My space.
I want my space. This is our marriage. It's about us
the two of us.
But it's not.
Wow.
Before and even in some people would still believe in it, because I'd say I myself do. But there's a lot of there's a notion of a marriage is about us two. Are you two happy? It's about you two,
Sort your issues out,
sort
yourselves out.
But before it was, it's two families marrying, it's two even cultures getting married, it's understanding, it's accommodating each other and each other's families. But now it's so much, if you two are happy, then that's what matters. Then it comes down to, if you two are sad, then that's also your problem. And then there's no intervention, no one is, giving you advice. You're actually not taking anybody's advice.
So lack of social support has broken families. That's what you guys are saying.
No, I think a lot of personalization is what has broken families.
What's personalization?
It is mine. You want to involve your family, you want to involve society at the celebration. Immediately after that, it becomes yours.
Because I'm fearing them to gossip about me. There is telling an auntie, and then the whole clan will know.
No. Now, you've heard of the Ndoa?
Yes, the marriage
that is
coaching,
going on right
yes.
now, yes. Ndoa is a modern Lukiko, I would say. Because they actually have purposed to help families. They've purposed to say that now we are going to, we the men, we're going to mentor the other men, the younger men. We the women are going to mentor the younger women.
Okay.
We the marrieds are going to mentor the younger marrieds. Because when you're married, if you've never been married before, you are venturing into very new waters. Very new waters. You need to have somebody to guide you. So if you're so scared about gossip versus
public opinion,
solving a problem,
then
that's death. You need to get help.
Okay, ladies, let's just talk about what families go through when a home is broken. What exactly happens? What's the reality? What's the drama? We need to know that.
Fear is of the unknown more than of the known.
Okay.
So when it comes to when you put yourself in that position, I think you're so scared of what could it be? What am I going to have to deal with? Like, let's say, as a child, you're thinking, am I going to be with mommy? Am I going to be with daddy? As the spouse, whether I think you're the husband or the wife, especially I would put it down to the stigma around women. Some women who are in like broken marriages, so many times worried about like, am I ever going to find love again? Am I going to be married again? I mean, is anyone going to look at me as the same person I was? Am I going to be worthy? You start having self-doubt. You're doubting your worth, you're doubting what's going to happen to your children. It's so many things that come around. I think it's so psychological. A broken home, like the psychological impact on you, on your future, on your children is so, I think it has so much trauma attached to it in terms of the uncertainty of future uncertainties, I would say.
We're all Ugandan on this table, by the way. Let me just ask you ladies, our society here, I've seen women that have been married and done the traditional introduction 5 times. I just don't get it. What kind of women are these? Who are these people?
Now this is from a personal point of view.
Yes.
When you go through this experience of a broken family, now as a Christian, I have to approach this from a Christian point of view. God is not in the business, and I repeat this, God is not in the business of destruction. This is not his plan.
Yes.
It has never been his plan. Okay? Now, when you're yoked away from somebody you have been with for 10, 20 years, just imagine what happens. It's a near-death experience. I've had people who say, I would rather bury my spouse and know I buried her here or him here
Then separate from
than meet him every so often,
someone else.
or even just him as a person, because you don't know what has led up to that separation. So there is a broken heart.
Yes.
A broken heart has happened. When we say the heart, that with the heart is what pumps blood to the body. That's what we know. Okay? But the heart is who you are. It's, your heart is broken. Literally, because you have a plan with this person, you love this person, you have children with this person, you have a future you have seen with this person. Now that is yanked away. When that is done, your heart is broken. It's heart-wrenching. From that point, you have a crushed spirit. From our spirit, even the Bible says, a man's spirit sustains him in sickness. I repeat, a
It's
man's
true.
spirit will keep you going as you're sick of your cancer, you're sick of your whatever. Now, imagine having a crushed spirit. And they say a crushed spirit no man can bear. No man can bear a crushed spirit.
You're
From this
literally
point,
dead.
you have a painful soul.
Mm.
You're in pain. They cry. They get sick. They go into depression. I really pray that people don't get to the last part, which is the fourth stage, which is a destructive life. Now, a destructive life is where you think you're going to deny you, and you start to quandule 5 times. You know, you haven't understood what the problem is with you.
Oh, so those are the
You haven't taken full responsibility of no marriage. By the way, and this is very important to note. No marriage breaks apart because of one party. No.
It takes 2 to tango.
It takes 2 people. You've had our mothers, you've had friends who will keep in a marriage that you think, I can't do this, but they are doing it. They are putting in the work. They are doing what they are supposed to do. They are praying for their partners. They are playing their roles. And these are the women we see eventually one day victorious in their homes. You look at her and say, hey, this woman, she went through this and she's there, and he's there, their family is there. And so then they are, they also think that he's the problem or she's the problem. And they never take any time to get internal inventory. Take responsibility, take accountability of what did I do wrong here? What did he do wrong here?
Now, ladies, let's talk about how broken families can come out of the pain and the trauma. What is it that they can do to pick themselves up together? This has happened, a family has fallen apart, but what is the way forward?
First of all, I think we need to understand something. A family is made up of a father, a mother, and children.
Yeah.
Now, when this catastrophe happens, you, the adults, have the responsibility of dealing with this issue in the most mature manner, moving forward. As a Christian, I know Jeremiah 29:11 keeps reminding me, my promises from God to prosper and not to fail. It's a promise. It's not just, and I can't joke around with God's promises.
Yes.
So I know that regardless that this has happened, something good has to come out of it. Okay. Now, you need to get the help you need. Now, nobody is going to help you with a broken heart, but God.
Okay, I like
I
that.
need to make that clear.
Yes,
100%, 100%.
If it's Allah for you,
Mhm.
Allah. You need to pray. You need to pray. There is nobody that can bring back life into a crushed spirit like God. Then go to a therapist for the step-by-step guides on how to move forward, because you're dealing with children and you're venturing into new waters again. You don't know what you're supposed to say to them, what they're not supposed to know, what you're supposed to protect them from, how you're supposed to guide them. Get the right help. They're out there. They're out there here in Uganda. They are there.
So,
The right therapists.
can I just catch you in the middle, just so that, because I'm sure it's a mindset. Again, I'll go back to the stigmatization and stereotypes. As a Ugandan, and I see how it works in our mental, processing, is that we keep thinking that, going to a therapist, going to a counselor, we have associated that to a very, how can I say, white and weak, no one wants to come out and seek for help, let alone go and, follow what the counselor or the person knows what they're doing, they've given you the steps. So from the step of acknowledging the fact that you need this help or your marriage needs this help, to actually believing in what they're going to do for you. Because I have and I know a lot of people who need it, and you will drag them there, but they'll be like, no, I'm not weak like that. So how do we encourage people to understand that you need this, and you need to go and reach for help, seek out for help, whether you've started getting the help from your spirituality, and then you're graduating slowly into getting help from an expert in that field. So what do people need to understand or to accept in order to finally make that step into going to see a counselor?
Yeah, because it's
Shows
actually
like
not
this.
taken seriously in Africa.
Yes.
Shows like this,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
yeah, this is a platform.
Mm.
And don't take it lightly.
Mm.
1 million people, 1 million views,
Mm.
2 million shares.
Mm.
This is a platform.
Mm.
Our church is a platform. Ndoa was founded in a church.
Mm.
Yeah, and I know that Ndoa, from what I have heard from those who have gone to Ndoa,
Mm.
many marriages have been repaired. They haven't even gotten to the destructive stage.
Mm.
They were held in the church. So we need to have more Ndoas.
Which church is Ndoa from?
Mavuno.
Church. Okay, Mavuno.
So then we also, at Worship Harvest, we also have the fireplace.
Okay.
Yeah, so the churches.
What's the fireplace about?
The
Is it a
fireplace is
marriage?
a marriage. Yeah, they talk as married people. They talk about
Okay.
their problems. They talk about solutions.
Mm.
Now, you see, once you don't put in a setting of a therapist's office, maybe that's what people are scared about, knowing that, oh, they walked into that building and that's a therapist, that means they have problems. No, if you sit at somebody's home in a living room with a cup of tea and people are exchanging back and forth problems in each other's homes or problems experiencing, and they're trusting each other as a group, people will get comfortable.
But again, it comes back to keeping up appearances, like we talked earlier on. She just said that it's important for you to seek this professional help. And then our society, like you've said, no one wants to see you going for professional help because they call you weak. And yet the professionals will actually help you. So it's about really owning up your issues and saying, you know what, let me just pack up my bags and go and sit in this person's office until I am healed. What else can broken families do to get out of that deep pit and catastrophe that they've fallen into?
Psalm 51:10 says, create in me, O Lord, a clean heart, and renew a right spirit within me.
Yes.
Even God knew.
That you would go through this.
He knew we'd go through broken hearts, he knew we'd go through disappointments. He knows human, he created us, he knows us. Now, why do I say you have to go to God moving forward with this? You need to clean your heart. You need to clean your mind of memories that are bad. You need to clean you need to clean your expectations in human beings.
All the bitterness, unforgiveness, anger.
Because when you're dealing with children, you still have to see this human being.
That you separated
Yes,
from.
you need to deal with this father or mother of your children. Now, if you're going to deal with this person with 8-year-old wounds, you're not even living together anymore. You're not. What happens to these children?
Are those the women that tell their children men are bad, men are dogs, men are boa?
So much
Yes.
poisoning.
So much poison.
Yes.
And you see, this is where women have another problem. Imagine one of the parties decides to move on, to marry again.
Yes, which is very common.
Yeah, it's happening a lot now. You don't want your children to get into the other setting where there's another person and have anger and resentment and bitterness and,
Towards
in
the
a system
other
that you can try to make it work.
Noella, let me ask you, how about if this other person was the cause of the breakup of the family, like probably it was an affair? How do you expect this other crushed family to welcome this person in warmly and happily?
Again, I will go back. Moving forward in this kind of scenario, you need God.
Okay.
Because if you choose to fight, you're choosing destruction. You've already suffered from one calamity. The family is broken. Now, do you want to breed murderers? What are you going to do to this woman? Are you going to kill her? You can't. Are you going to breed your little children, be your little armies to go there and cause catastrophe? No, is that your plan for your children?
But there's normally a lot of strife and unforgiveness between
Strife, I will
the
tell you
children
this,
and this
Gloria
other new
and
woman. or
Strife,
father.
strife, strife, we breed it in our children. Children, that's why I said earlier, protect your children as much as possible.
From all the negativity.
Yes. I tell you, even if it means lying for the other party, You have bought the aeroplane, you've thrown the birthday party, and you have to thank daddy. Do it.
For the sake
For
of
the
your
sake
children.
of your children. You need your children to have love.
No,
And children look at mommy and daddy and they will know what to do. If mommy is sitting down and plotting and striving and doing, that's the path they're going to take. Children see what we do. Don't think for 1 minute children do what we say. No. Our children are little cameras. They look, they capture, they absorb, they take in, they even come out better than you. So your children are watching you. Everything you do. If you sit down and you're planning catastrophe for the father, the new woman, or the catastrophe for the mother and the new man, that's what they're going to do. But if you have harmony, if you have peace, oh God, peace that surpasses all human understanding, that only comes from God. Try to have peace. Try to have a way forward. You don't know what's going to come up ahead, you know. You know, so you'd rather have children who are healthy, happy, than children that are depressed.
Broken.
And it's happening a lot. You're seeing children
They
as
take
early
their
as
attention
12.
to their schools, to their lives outside, you know. And the problem is that I feel like when you're creating that ambience, I've seen it. You create an ambience of, you know, conniving and making, you know, all these weird plans, like, you know, go to their house and do this. Go to their house and tell that new mommy this, you know.
Go to the house and don't eat.
Don't
Let
They
me
may
ask
poison
you.
you.
But let me ask you, you girls, let me ask you, how about if the new mommy is not friendly and welcoming, yet you guys are trying your best to be nice?
Let me tell you, what you give is what you get.
Okay.
And if you purpose to give positive vibes, that person will give you positive
She
vibes.
will break through
Yes.
eventually.
If you, I have met and I've had stories of children who I will not allow that stepmother. I will not. She will also not allow you. By the way, it's not a given that she has to accept you. No.
Yeah.
Yes. But if you go in as a child, what is a child's first rule? Respect. What are you supposed to do as a child? Respect. Listen to your adults. Respect your elders. Respect. That's it.
Noella, normally, okay, you're really defending the new stepmom, which is not bad, but some stepmoms are really stepmoms. I know of a guy that remarries and this other wife has left children in the home, and the stepmom comes in and locks the fridge, doesn't allow these other children to eat sausages. She's eating sausages with her children. She doesn't give milk to these guys. Her children are taking milk. Yet these children have tried to be positive, are listening and respecting her.
Would you then limit your children's visits there and encourage your husband or ex-husband to visit them at yours? Or would you still continue to send your children there?
Most women leave their children in them.
Yeah.
Most, and then decide to move on.
To move on.
Yes. And for me, I just don't understand how you can leave your child to be raised by another woman.
That's
when you're alive.
that's the psychology I have. I would also, given the situation that
Move with your children.
yeah, my husband has a new wife or a new girlfriend, whatever.
Yes.
But I would also not want this ideology, because you know what happens is when the new mom, the stepmom, is kind of resenting you. Imagine something as small as a sausage, you know,
Yeah.
saying that my kids will have and you
will
will not have.
Yes.
And this is just in terms of food. There's so many things that, and it psychologically affects your child. Your child begins to think that they're not worth it, they're not good enough, these other kids are better,
Yes.
daddy likes them more.
Yes.
They start associating it to the love their father has for them. They're not looking at it as this is a whole new person, she's not my mother. At that age, they're now beginning to think that, daddy doesn't love us, that's why even this lady doesn't love us. So I would think in my point of view, I would have him visit them under...
That is if you have gone with them.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you ladies, we are running out of time, but how can families avoid falling apart? We just need to see how to brainstorm on how to prevent this catastrophe from happening.
We need to talk about it more.
Okay?
I believe.
For people that are going through it need to talk about this. People need to know what they're getting themselves into. Earlier, I was speaking to one of the speakers, and I was saying, you'd even rather not marry at all. Yes. Get a pet and live your life.
So you respect
Because
that old woman who's living with a dog?
That's her choice. At least she's
other
not.
person that has broken
The only
away.
person affected by her choice is her.
Is
Okay.
her.
The only person affected by her choice is her.
Mm.
But when you go into the whole institution
Of getting married.
having children and it falls apart, the consequences of the calamities that come out of this are more than that woman with her dog. Yes. So if you think and you feel that you will not manage this,
Don't get married.
Yes. I keep hearing of people who throw divorce parties.
Yes.
They divorce and they throw a party.
Yes.
I call that the butterfly effect. They're everywhere. Today they're throwing a party here for divorce, tomorrow they're in a bar with so and so, the next day they're on a holiday somewhere so and so, the next day they're they don't fully understand what is even happening. Yes. And that's another way of trying to avoid dealing with your depression, your pain, because it's painful. You have to deal with it. Yeah. There are people who take 10, 20 years to deal with a divorce. Yeah. So those of you who think you can come out of it 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and you're throwing parties and my friend,
Coping mechanism.
you have to be held accountable. So the more people come out and talk about these stories and talk about the dangers of it, to talk about what happens to young boys who come out of single mother homes, what happens to children who are brought up with single fathers. If we keep on having these statistics in our faces, we would take it. People would know. This Ndoa is saving very many families.
Okay.
Very many families. And I think one of the reasons I haven't asked the founders, but I am very sure it was that we need to talk. We need to talk about these things before they get to the destructive stage.
So you're saying that divorce and families breaking is rampant because people are hiding these things under the carpet.
And I also feel like even back to conversation and back to talking, I feel like nowadays in relationships there's so much ego. And there's so much ego involved that
spite.
Spite.
Spiteful.
You get in for the love, you get in, or sometimes maybe somebody is very attractive, but when there's issues, you want this, like it surprises me that when you're interested in somebody, you're willing to run behind them, but when there's an issue, you're running away from them. So
Nida, it has been really nice having you. Producer is desperate. It has really been nice having you and Noella. I hope to have you girls back to this table and we continue to talk. Thank you so much. God bless you all.